and the theme.
Hello, George. Good
Greetings.
afternoon to you, to all our colleagues in the panel. How are
Good
you?
afternoon, Laid. Nice to see you.
Me too. Thank you to you and all the panel, Peter, Chips, and all people around, Donna, Janet, and all people around. Thank you. I'm pleased to be here with you.
Thank you. Welcome to Global Peace Studies for Sustainable Development in Africa, where we discuss pertinent issues of peace and sustainability around the world and across Africa. Our theme today is Healing of Memories. I'm George Mutalemwa, moderating this session on behalf of the Africa Peace and Development Network, MAMA. And the speaker today is Father Teddy Lennon, OFM. Father Teddy has been a facilitator of the Healing of Memories program in Namibia and has been working within the area of justice, peace, and integrity of creation, especially in South Africa and Namibia. He is a Franciscan priest. It's a pleasure having you, Teddy Lennon. You are now welcome to begin your presentation.
Thank you very much, George. It's good to be here. Last week, Friday, I spoke by phone with one of the ladies who participated in our Healing of Memories workshop in Deborah near Windhoek on the weekend of the 7th to the 9th of November. The phone call was not related to the said workshop, but when we had finished talking about the business of the day, the lady whose name is Tessa told me that those who had participated at the workshop had set up a WhatsApp group. They did this in order to help them continue together on the road on the journey of healing. I congratulate them, and I believe it is a very positive step. God willing, we will meet with them again at the beginning of December, where we will have a reunion and share with them the second phase in our lifelong journey of healing. At the end of each workshop, we ask the participants to give a verbal and a written evaluation of the workshop as they have experienced it. One participant who attended a workshop some months ago wrote, "Regardless of who we are, all of us have at some point in time experienced pain, loss, regret, abandonment. And to hear other people's side gives comfort that you are not alone." I am a Franciscan, and among our facilitators in this ministry, we have a number of Franciscan brothers and sisters. I will mention some of them later. We have a number of Oblat of Mary Immaculate priests. We have a brother of the CMM brothers. We have a sister of the Missionaries of the Sacred Heart, one sister of the Oblats of St. Francis de Sales, and we include in our team a number of men and women who are actively involved in various parish groups. We are very happy to have a number from various branches of the Lutheran Church, and we have a former Secretary General of the Council of Namibian Churches among our facilitators. Let me begin this presentation by telling you a little bit about a man named Michael Lapsley. Some years ago, a lecture and a documentary film was shown via Zoom. It was called Poverty, Chastity, and Disobedience. It was produced by the Irish Embassy in South Africa. The man presenting the lecture and the film was an Irish historian called Kieran Riley. He comes originally from a great town in County Offaly named Edenderry, and he now lives not too far away in a place called Clane in County Kildare. Michael Lapsley was watching and listening to the Zoom presentation. He sent me a WhatsApp message shortly after the program. It read in part, "Hi, Father Teddy. I just watched today the wonderful film about Irish visionaries and appreciated your contribution. It was a very inspiring film. Hope you're happy with it, especially lots of amazing sisters." After reading this message, I thought to myself that if anyone deserved the title of visionary, it is Michael Lapsley. He was born in New Zealand. He joined the Society of the Sacred Mission in Australia, and after a number of years of study and
We have lost the sound there. It seems there is a disconnection there. So, Ted, if you could start.
The African National Congress.
Could you go back two sentences before? Sorry, Teddy, could you go back some 2 sentences or 3 because we lost you for some minute, 1 minute or so.
You want me to go back a few sentences?
Yes, please, because we couldn't follow what you were saying because of the internet disconnection.
Is it your side or my side?
Actually, I don't know where it came from.
Okay, let me talk about Father Michael Lapsley.
Yes, please.
He was born in New Zealand. He joined the Society of the Sacred Heart Mission in Australia. And after a number of years of study and preparation, he was ordained as a priest within the Anglican Church. As a young priest, he came to South Africa. He was very much upset by what he saw. He saw that there was a different treatment for white people and for black people. He worked with students and he spoke out against the policies being followed by the government of the day. He decided to join the African National Congress, which was one of the organizations fighting for justice and a different system in the country. After some time, he had to leave South Africa. His permit to stay was not renewed. He moved initially to Lesotho and was then told it was not safe for him to stay there, and so he moved to Zimbabwe. Someone from South Africa sent him 2 parcels containing religious magazines. They were delivered to the presbytery he was staying at in Harare. This took place in April 1990. He looked at the 2 parcels. He saw that the religious magazines in the parcels were in 2 different languages. One parcel contained a magazine in English and the other contained one in Afrikaans. He opened the English one. Once he did so, a bomb exploded. He lost both his hands, 1 eye, and his hearing was badly affected. You can look, can you see this photograph of a book?
A little bit higher up. Yes, please.
Can you see it now?
Yes, thanks.
You see that his hands are behind his head, and his hands are like 2 large forks. After he was in a hospital for 18 months, and when he recovered some of his strength, he came back to South Africa and was warmly welcomed by Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Initially, he worked as a chaplain for a trauma center for victims of violence and torture. He also became part of the counseling working group of the Religious Response to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It was in Cape Town that he began his work of helping to heal the psychological, emotional, and spiritual wounds of people in South Africa. He had the courage and the vision of inviting people who were on opposing sides in the war of liberation to come together and join together in a journey of healing and reconciliation. Over the years, Father Michael has brought this ministry to many parts of the world. He is the founder and president of the Institute for the Healing of Memories, which has its headquarters in Cape Town, South Africa. He introduced the program to Namibia plus minus 18 years ago. The Peace Center in Windhoek invited him to come, and the person responsible for that invitation was a lady called Vicky Festus, who has been with us as a facilitator in the healing of memories for many years. She is a survivor of the Lubango dungeons in Angola, which was a particularly brutal and sad experience for many during the liberation war here in Namibia. Among those who attended his first number of workshops in Namibia were a number of Franciscan friars. I was privileged to be one of those, as was Sidney Daniels. Subsequently, our brothers Bernard Hall, Anthony Spencer, Thabo Sefodi, and Nkosana Nhlapo joined the program. The initial group of Namibians who joined the healing journey included Lizette Lewis, Alina Flesch, Sophie Samule, and they were joined by Hilda Totong, Hangapo Veiko, Katia Dines de Moura, Celeste Alice, Krista Thomas, Gideon Uokwebe. We Franciscans, together with our brothers and sisters, have attempted to spread the program and ministry to many parts of this beautiful country. We have a great group of facilitators. They are involved in the building of a new nation. Some were affected by the liberation war here in Namibia. Some were soldiers. One was a political commissar, and some spent time in the dungeons. We have relatives and descendants of the Herero, Nama, Bastard, German communities who suffered during the war of 1904 to 1908. It is often referred to as the first genocide of the 20th century. We have an outreach program to a small part of South Africa. It is known as the Val Triangle, and it is a place where we Franciscans have ministered in for many years. Brother Sidney is leading the program there and has been ably assisted by Brother Sipelele Guanishene, Sibongile Mkwanasi, Brother Nkosana Nhlapo, Bishop Joseph Makaling, Richard Briggs Mokolo, and they have been joined by a group which attended the training in Cape Town in September of this year. I have been involved in this ministry for close on 20 years, and I regularly attend and assist at workshops, reunions, and information sessions. Our facilitators do the same. One of my friends asked me recently, he said, "You are always going to these healing of memories workshops. Are you not healed yet?" My answer is no, not yet. But I can say that I have taken and continue to take small steps towards healing. I'm definitely on a healing journey, and my growth over the past several years in many ways has transformed the way I look at life, my relationships with all the people I live and work with. The transformation has been positive. How does this ministry operate? In the past year in Namibia, we have had workshops and information sessions in 6 different locations. Some we have been to at least twice. In the Val Triangle in South Africa, we have had 6 workshops at Laverna Franciscan Center near Vanderbilt Park. The Institute has branches in Cape Town, in KwaZulu-Natal, and in Gauteng, and regular workshops are organized in these areas. Father Michael has brought this ministry to people all over the world, including Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Lesotho, Canada, United States of America, Zimbabwe, Luxembourg, France, Germany. One of his co-workers, Laurette, has spearheaded the expansion of the ministry to many countries in Africa. I do not know if she has brought it to Tanzania yet, but after this conversation, you can speak to me and I will speak to her about that. I visited 4 men in different hospitals during this past week. I was able to pray with and assist each of them with the sacraments of the Catholic Church. Each of them is sick with a physical illness. They are being looked after by caring and compassionate medical personnel. For those of us attending a Healing of Memories program, our healing journey is not so much related to physical illness as to psychological, emotional, and spiritual sickness. For many of us, and here I include myself, reconciliation often begins after the workshop in our families, in our communities, and extends to the wider community. Can I say to you, George, and to everyone who is listening here today, you have a story to tell. Your story is important. You deserve to have your story listened to attentively and to have your story, as you experienced it, acknowledged. Everyone who attends a Healing of Memories workshop is given an opportunity to tell his or her story and also to listen to the stories of others. This is done within small groups, and each small group has a facilitator and, where possible, a co-facilitator. We help people to be able to tell their stories by means of creative exercises. The workshop we see as all of us entering a sacred space. Confidentiality is a very important part of this sacred space. What I hear at the workshop and in my small group stays within the group. We do not share or tell people about the stories we hear within our groups. We also lead people to celebrate who they are and give each participant a chance to point the way towards a future which is full of peace. Our experience over many years is that all of us who attend and participate in these workshops take a small step towards healing. I can tell my friend, and I can tell you, that I'm traveling on a journey which is bringing me both healing and reconciliation. And the journey is also one that includes the experience of joy. One of our participants asked at the beginning of our weekend recently, let us enjoy ourselves while we are here. The process is arranged that after we face the difficulties that we have encountered in our lives today, we take a good look towards the future and we face it with joy and enthusiasm. I do not give a full account of what we do during the workshop. The reason is that I want to say of all of you who are here, come and see. I have written about the workshops in a number of magazines. I've written, can you see this magazine?
Yes, St. Anthony Brief.
St. Anthony's Brief, which is published in Ireland. I've written about it in the Troubadour, which is no longer, it was published by the Franciscans in Scotland, but has been discontinued. I've written in 2 magazines, which I think, George, you would be able to read in German. I didn't write in German, but the articles I wrote were translated. One was translated by Heinrich Gockel and the other by Emmanuel Graf. The first one appeared in the magazine, which is produced by Franziskaner Mission in Dortmund, and the second in the magazine published by Mission Centrale in Bonn. Look up those past magazines and you will see the articles on the healing of memories. Emmanuel Graf came to visit Namibia on 2 occasions, and he wrote a number of articles which appeared in the Franciscan magazine published by Mission Centrale in Bonn. Part of what Emmanuel wrote is, everyone has a story to tell. The Healing of Memories program creates a safe atmosphere in which people can face their unprocessed traumas, suppressed feelings, and unresolved conflicts, and share them with others so that they can work through them. The participants in the seminars, who come either directly from victims groups or from church communities, are enabled to free themselves from their traumas, fears, and memories in small steps and to reconcile. Many of the participants are involved in the country's conflicts in some way. Many are traumatized but have no access to medical or psychological help. This is the first time that people have spoken out loud about what was done to them in their past. Emmanuel continues writing. In the small groups, everyone tells their story. Anton is a very interesting character. He grew up on his parents' farm. In 1989, he became a member of the Constituent Assembly for SWAPO. After the country's independence, he was a member of the National Assembly from 1990 to 1995. In 1992, he even became Minister of Agriculture. One of the workshops that Emmanuel attended took place in Swakopmund and involved a number of German, Nama, Bastar, and Damara Namibians. Anton was one of the German Namibians who were present. When I come to the end of every workshop, I ask those attending if they have a lot of money and they don't know what to do with it, to please see me after lunch. Now, we do not have lunch here, but for all of you today, the message is the same. We who operate this ministry in Namibia and in the Val Triangle in South Africa are supported by Franciscan groups in Germany, England, Mission Centrale der Franziskaner in Bonn, Franziskaner Mission in Dortmund, Franciscan Missionary Union in Dublin and in Glasgow. We are also supported by Trócaire, the development arm of the Irish Catholic Bishops' Conference, Maynooth, Ireland, and our great supporter there is Beatrice Bore. We were supported in the past by Mission Cara in Ireland, and our contact people there were Finbar O'Brien in Lusaka and Seamus Collins in Eden Derry. Catholic relief agencies supported us until the new President of the United States decided to withdraw funding from them. People from different parts of Ireland and England have been great supporters. My brother, Finbar, my sisters, Rita, Maeve, and Anne with their families, many people in Eden Derry, including Frank and Sheila O'Mara and Nuala O'Rourke and their supporters, the Wall family, the Kelly family, the Lowry family, Philip and Patricia Brady, the local priests, Father Liam Lawton and his predecessor, Father P.J. McAvoy, the John of God sisters, Sister Anya, and our local deacon, Paul Weir. Many people have supported our ministry in Belfast, Saintville, Galway, Rosnowla, Cork, Killarney, Drumshambo, Carlow, London. Here in Namibia, we also have made great efforts at raising funds. Some of our friends have opened debit orders for small amounts, and we organize some fundraising events like breakfasts and dinners. This is just an example of some of the fundraising that we have done in the past. Our workshops take place over 3 days. If we have it at a weekend, we start on the Friday evening and finish after lunch on Sunday. Traveling in Namibia can be exhausting. Distances can vary between 400 and 1,200 kilometers. We try to use venues which are reasonably priced, usually church premises. Here in Namibia, we have a team of facilitators as diverse as the nation which is known as the land of the brave. Lizette Lewis runs our office, situated as part of the Justice and Peace Deck of the Namibian Catholic Bishops' Conference. Living very close to the premises is Brother Paul Onyisi of the CMM Brothers. The overseer is Father Albertus Chiama, and he keeps an eagle eye on proceedings from the coastal town of Walvis Bay. He is the director of the office. When I meet up with a group that will be joining the journey with me at a workshop, I begin by asking each one of them to reflect on their past. I then ask them to take some quiet time and to reflect on the following questions related to their past life history. What did I do? What was done to me? What did I fail to do? What could I have done better? That, George, is my presentation. I have around me here a number of our facilitators. They may want to tell you or share with you how participating in the workshops has changed their lives or has affected them. And they belong to different groups here in Namibia and different tribes, different sections of the population. So would you like to hear from some of them?
Yes, please. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. And if I may, first of all, also thank you for inviting your colleagues. Please guide how they should proceed. I would love to hear from them.
We'd love to hear from them. Would they have to come in front of this machine?
Yeah, that would be nice. At least we can see them.
Where is she? Invite Lizette. She's in a room upstairs. How do you connect with her?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. Nice to see you. Welcome to Global Peace.
Thank you so much. My apology for connecting on the phone. I don't know what's happening with my laptop.
We can hear you loud and clear.
All right. The Healing of Memories program, once you attend the program as an individual, it can assist with emotional release and that inner peace. You know, that inner peace, and also realizing that you are not alone. And whatever you are going through, there's other people also. And the Healing of Memories program can open yourself or can open up for you to see a new perspective of life. You know, sometimes when one go through challenges, you sometimes think that, life is not fair. But then when you attend the Healing of Memories, then you realize that it's also okay not to be okay, because you're not alone going through whatever you're going through or the challenge that you're going through. And attending the Healing of Memories also helped me to improve my relationship with myself and with my fellow brothers and sisters, and also my family. You know, as an African, family is very important. So Healing of Memories assisted me to improve relationship, to be able to forgive, even though it's a long process, a slow process, but at least those small baby steps, I'm able to take them and move forward. And also not be stuck in the past. I'm not in the past anymore. So I've liberated myself from the hurts of the past. Things that I thought that I will not be able to move forward. But now it's like history, because I've moved on. And also the energy after attending the workshop, the energy, the positivity that I can start a new page, I can start a new chapter. So it's a fresh start after attending the Healing of Memories. And yes, with the shortcomings of my own personal life, I'm able to assist my brothers and sisters as well, because the vision or the vision of the Healing of Memories is also is to strive to lead, is a leading agent of hope, transformation, and peace by empowering individuals, communities, and nations through healing of memories. So for us, for people to heal, it starts with me. I need to be healed myself in order to take my brothers and sisters by hand, and also helping them to take those small baby steps. So yeah, that's basically what I can add now. I can maybe leave to the rest of my colleagues, maybe to add, because I don't want to say everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Who would you like to go next?
I'll call Brother Paul. He's downstairs. Brother Paul and Sister Kripina is also there, and Sister Venancia.
Brother Paul is coming. And
Okay.
Venancia.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. George. My name is Brother Paul come from the congregation CMM Brothers, and I'm working in Namibia here as a missionary. So then I joined Father Teddy in the Healing of Memory 5 years ago. And since then, I continue to help and be one of the facilitators. This program of the Healing of Memory have strengthened my faith and come to realize that no matter how little things that had happened to the person has created wound, and this wound and growing from smaller to grow bigger and bigger, if it is not treated, it brings disasters in life of a person. So in the healing of memory, however small things a person has gone through, never said it is too small. It is a concern and the life experience that a person has gone through. And that story it is only that person that can understand it better and just need a space to express it. So that is what touched me in, and every healing of memory, there is a different experience in life of people. Yeah, that's all I would like to say with you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Paul, for sharing your experience with us.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, George.
Good
I'm Sister
afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm Sister Venancia in the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I'm a retired social worker, trained in healing as a facilitator, and I'm staying in Marinta. Healing of memory is really a kind of medication for personal, for my soul. Because pain, it never stops. Disappointment, it never stops. Sometimes you are really feeling, I have solved this problem, this concern. But then the others, like myself, when I started with healing of memory, I was having another problem, relationship or disappointment. But now, a year later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was another pain, I have to deal with it. It's why you never you can say, I'm finished with this. But really it helps your personal healing, your strength and your relationship with God. And there are really very people outside there who are in pain. And with this, really, we can do a lot. And like the two questions Father Tato already said when he started the workshop, where you will ask to be reflect, what was done to you? And what have you yourself done? Because we have to balance. It is not always the one-sided. It is both sides. But at the end, you yourself, you have to make a decision. I don't want to talk too long. I think it's enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sister Venancia, for this experience that you have shared with us. All the best in this journey of healing.
Thank you.
Great.
Here's another participant.
Good afternoon, George.
Good afternoon. How are you?
How are you? Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm fine, thanks.
My name is Sister
Welcome.
Emanuela. I belong
Nice
to
to
the
meet
congregation.
you.
I belong to the congregation of the Most Holy Name of Jesus, and I'm living in Windhoek. I attended the healing of memory for my first time as a program which is run by Father Teddy here in Namibia. It's a good program. I learn a lot, although it's a touching program, because you will hear different stories from the participant, and you can hear the story, which is really touching. Some of the story, you can even think your story is more, but when you hear for the others, you can feel that they are more than what yours is. But it's a good program, and is helping you to be heard, what you undergone and also what the other people undergone. For the people, is a good thing to talk what happened to you and what happened to the others. Is only also it can strengthen your faith, or it can also strengthen your faith to hear from the other what is going on. That is really is a good program because it healed you, and then it continue also to hear from the other people how they suffered, how do they feel. Is really, for me, is a touching program, and I really enjoy that program. And thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Emanuela. Welcome again. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much, Teddy, for this wonderful experience that you've shared with us.
May I share with you one of the first workshops I attended. We had, as participants in the workshop, we had a number of people who were involved in the liberation war here in Namibia. And among them were two women who had spent close to 5 years in the dungeons in Angola. This is something that happened to people who left the country with the intention of joining a liberation army, and they were arrested, charged with being spies for South Africa, and then they were put into dungeons in Angola. This happened to quite a number of Namibians. And among those attending that workshop were these two ladies, and there was also a man who was a former commander of the Liberation Army in that part of Angola. And to hear the relationship between him and these two ladies and telling their stories, listening to each other, listening to their emotions, I found it very, very emotional. And so did the people. And it was it really meant there was a certain reconciliation and an understanding. He didn't know what had happened under his watch in that part of the world, and they were not aware of what he was going through as a soldier. So it was a very moving experience for me, and also for people participating in the program. And we often find people who are very, very caught up in what has happened to them and what has happened to the history of their families and the history of their community. In particular, we get a number of people in recent times who are the descendants of the Herero and the Nama peoples who were involved in the genocide. And this is something that happened over 130, 140 years ago. But people speak about it as if it happened yesterday, because the stories were passed on from parents to children again. And this is an area we are trying to reach out to all of these people, not only to those who suffered, but also to the relatives of those who were part of the colonial power at the time. And this is a movement that hopefully will contribute a little to bringing a reconciliation here within Namibia.
Thanks very much indeed. Somehow your chair has become smaller. We can't see the chest now as before. If you could, yes, go up a bit. Yes, like a little bit below, under. Yes, a bit up again. Sorry, just.
How you do this? Is this
yes,
fine?
that's
Can you
fine.
see me now? Is that
that's
fine?
fine. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Father Teddy, for this wonderful experience and for inviting your colleagues to join us and share their experiences with us. It's now time for the floor for members here to ask some questions or share their own experiences. So you may raise your hand if you would like to speak, or you may put your question in chat, and we will read it out. So this is Healing of Memories, and yeah, the speaker is Father Teddy Lennon, who has joined us from Namibia. So who would like to start? Actually, today when I contact a group of WhatsApp group of some of my colleagues here at university, and I talked about, you know, we're going to discuss healing, you know, and then someone said, we would rather have started with prevention, you know, of the cause that led to the suffering and then healing. And do you also go back to dig out history, what happened, what led to this kind of situation that one needs to be healed of? For that, Ted, did you get my question?
Is that a question?
Okay, so it will come. Let me listen to Richard first, and then I will ask again. Richard?
Hello, good afternoon from Ghana. Please, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yeah. It pained me that I couldn't join as it started. But I'm happy to see Father and OFM. I'm also with the third order, Franciscan Friar. Yeah, third order. I believe. Yeah, third order. I believe. What is it? Oh, excuse me. Let me put this up. Oh, excuse me. Let me put this up. I believe every normal person, one way or the other, would want to reflect back the initial state he or she was after maybe an illness, a problem, and other events. Are there all memory healing? For example, if you got sick and you were recovering, you want to recover faster. So you'll be thinking of how you were initially, just to heal yourself. Is that also part of the healing memory? Thank you.
Did you get that question, Teddy?
Well, I got
It's
the
like,
comment, yeah.
Okay, all right. So it's like, yes. I think it's the whole process of healing. How does it take place?
I think the process of healing takes place when people tell their stories and they unburden what is in them, because for many people who come to the healing of memories, it is the first time they have told their story in full as it happened to them. Now, the story can be something related to a violent situation like a war, but it can also be something that refers to within the family, a difficult relationship within a family, or it can be in many cases, or in some cases, we have had church groups that have had serious problems among themselves. So the story can come from any place, but by telling their story, what we find is that if people unburden themselves of their story, and for the first time, they're able to be listened to attentively, and their story is acknowledged, we find that they take a step towards healing. And that is our experience. And it would be your experience. I'm talking not only to George, but to everybody here if you attend the program. And could I say to the previous speaker, he said he was a member of the Third Order. What's his name?
Richard.
Please, I'm Richard Ishen from Ghana.
Richard from Ghana.
Yes, please.
We have a very strong movement here also. We call them the secular Franciscans, Third Order, same as yourself.
Yeah. Secular Franciscan order.
We have encouraged them to attend the healing of memories, all of them. And the group in South Africa have asked me to give them the program, to bring it down to them sometime next year, which I will do. Okay. But at our last program, our last workshop here in Windhoek, we had 2 members who came and found it excellent because so please pass it on to your brothers and sisters in Ghana.
Okay.
And tell them to ask. Okay.
I will come across. Okay. Okay.
I see that. Yes, I have one here too.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Another question, please. Let me check on
Yeah, I see
Hi,
there
I
is a
would like
doctor who wants to ask a question.
Who is
Dr.
that?
Kajatu.
Yes,
It's
please,
written
welcome.
Kajatu. Yeah.
Can I ask the question? Oh,
Yes,
or say,
please.
sorry, Dija too. I think you wanted to ask first, so please go ahead and I'll
You
make
can continue, please. Just continue
Okay.
since you are already
Okay, yeah, thanks.
there.
Thank you, George, and thank you, Father Ted. My name is Yasmin, and I'm South African. I did work during the transition period in South Africa, peace and development work, and part of the work, I wasn't doing healing of memories, but we work closely in alliance with people doing healing of memories work. What resonated with me when Father Ted was saying, it doesn't matter if your issue is big or small, because I now find myself in Europe and I'm living here now, and I'm doing peace work individually. The exact same methodology of helping individuals to look at their own lives and different moments of transition in their own lives, and how to reframe that experience with distance for themselves, and then to start to rewrite a narrative of the life that they want to live. And so I agree with Father Ted that you can do this within a group, but I found that I'm also doing that same kind of work with individuals. So it's also possible to do it with individuals. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Jasmine. Chip, you are welcome, Chip, to ask a question or make a comment.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. And just a question about maybe how does the healing of memories process relate to what Desmond Tutu did with his Truth and Reconciliation Commission? I don't know too much about that, but it sounds like perhaps the Truth and Reconciliation Commission did the same thing or similar things. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, Teddy, you're welcome.
Can I respond to that? Yeah. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission was an effort to get to the truth of what happened during the struggles in South Africa. And as it happened, I was in South Africa at the time of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and I assisted a number of people to tell their stories to the commission. And we worked with Desmond Tutu and the other commissioners. And I think from my point of view, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission was an attempt to tell the story of what happened. The healing of memories is something that helps people who were affected by the events of that time to come to terms with their own personal suffering and their own personal past, whether on the side of those who suffered or on the side of those who were perpetrators. Maybe I can give you an example. When I was living in a place called Cebu King, I had a friend who was working. He was working in the men's hostel. He was one of the, what you might call it, the assistant managers there. And he used to give me access to a hall to hold church services. He was involved with his girlfriend for over 10 years, and they didn't have any children. In 1993, this girl gave birth to twins. If you know the history of South Africa, in 1993, there were discussions going on between the governing party at the time and the other liberation movements. I can't remember exactly, sometime in April 1993, Chris Hani, who was a leader of the African National Congress, was shot dead by a man in a city called Boksburg. And I remember going to his night vigil and going to his funeral with a group of people from Sebokeng. And that night, somebody came through the township of Sebokeng driving a Volkswagen car, and they killed 16 people. And one of the houses they came to was this house where the girlfriend of my friend was staying. And it was late in the evening. They knocked at the door. Nobody opened the door until they heard the people calling out the name of my friend. Once they heard that name, they thought they were his friends, so they opened the door. The two men went into the house, straight to the bedroom, where the woman was there with the two children in front of her, on her side, on her breasts. They shot the two children dead. It was pandemonium. It was hysterical when we came back from the funeral, and there was no way we could pray in that house. We just sat there and we waited and we continued with the funeral. 3 years later, there was the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And I was standing in a hall where Desmond Tutu was listening to people's stories. And I saw this man, his name was Gift, walking up and down outside. I asked him, did he want to tell his story? He said, I couldn't put her through that again. When I came to Namibia, I went looking for the report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and that situation was reported of the people going through with the Volkswagen and killing people that night, but nobody was ever charged, nobody was ever found guilty. Now, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission was trying to tell the stories of what happened and trying to get the truth of what happened in all instances like that all over the country. The healing of memories is something that Michael Lapsley started after the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and his idea was to try and help people like the families of people like the one I spoke about, like those who carried out the actions, to try and get them to tell their stories so that some sort of healing can take place. That's the way I would say it. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission was an unfinished business. And even Desmond Tutu himself said after they issued the report that it's up to other people to carry on what they started. In other words, to try and bring about a coming together of people, a helping people to reconcile, a helping people to heal. And there are many ways in which governments and organizations are doing that. I would say that the healing of memories is one small way. It's not the only way, but it's one small way in which we help people with difficult past experiences to be able to talk about them, to be able to have their stories acknowledged, and to begin a process of healing.
Thank you so much indeed, Teddy, for that response. And I'm just looking for Mary Ma. Would you like to ask a question or make a comment?
Okay, thank you. Dear brother, I have to say that I read the Bible, the Old Testament, about the job, the chapter job, and the devil took away everything from Job, and he complained and still love God. And I don't know how that Job forgive God. You know, the Bible not tell me, and you tonight you share about the healing memory, but the Bible not tell me the Job forgive God. I confused.
I don't know whether you heard that I had some problem. I don't know whether because of the machine you are using, you are not as clear as you.
I mean, you know, it's a Bible, old Bible, a text, old Bible, the story about the job, you know, the job, God took away job, anything. And he complained and said, and cried, you know, but the job still love God. And I don't know how that job forgive God. Okay, I don't know, you know, I totally confused tonight. You share about the healing memory.
I'm sorry. It makes sense to me when I realized you may be talking about Job, the Bible story about the man who was plagued with terrible experiences. Is that correct?
Yes, and I don't know how does the job forgive God.
And I guess the question she's asking is, in the Bible, how does Job forgive God for all of the pain and the suffering? And I guess it's a theological question. If someone is a theologian, and I think there are many around the table, can speak to forgiveness, that may be part of the answer, right?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And maybe Ted, you'd like to respond to that.
I think when Benedict went to visit Auschwitz during his pontificate, one of the questions he asked was, where was God during the killing of so many people? And I think it's a question that many of us ask when we see so much suffering in front of us. And when we see people, I mean, if you look at what's happening all over the world today, what has been happening in Gaza, what has been happening in Ukraine, what has been happening in Sudan, what has been happening in Ethiopia, what has been happening in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where is God? It's a very valid question. And it's a question that I think Job wrestled with for some time in the book, but I think many of us wrestle with it. And the question is, where is God? We don't have a complete answer. And maybe we will get the answer when we leave this world and go to the next. But I think it is a very valid question, and it is one that we need to reflect on. And I think one of the things that when we talk about forgiveness is not very easy. Forgiveness is something that it's a journey too. It takes a long time, and it is a process. And I often think that the program, The Healing of Memories, is excellent when it happens, when it's offered to people a number of years after they've been through the traumatic experiences, because they're able to look back and they're able to reflect. If it happens too soon, I think it would be very difficult. I mean, I don't know if we would be able to get people in the land of Palestine to sit down from two sides to talk and to listen to each other's stories. I think it would be very difficult now, but it might be possible in a few years' time.
All right. Thank you so much for that reply. Thank you so much, Mary. I hope your question was answered. And I'm now looking for another hand. The story of Job. Oh, that was from Janet.
Yeah.
Yes, you're welcome.
Khadijatu Balima Aliyu from Sierra Leone. I'm really happy to be part of this platform, and I'm really appreciate all of the topic, like the first topic, the second, and the third one. Last week was a blessing, and today is a whole different thing. For me, today is my first time of knowing about the healing memory and listening to different people narrate different parts of the healing memory is a changing platform for me. And I'm a survivor of a horrific FGM, and I'm the winner of the ECOWAS case recently. So I have a lot of people that reach out to me. I deal with a lot of cases. Even now, I'm dealing with my own healing therapy, which I have not yet complete. I have people that have children like under age 6 months, whereby 30, 35 years old men, and this family rely on me like to give them a helping hand, to counseling them, to, in different shape or form, like to give them therapy, wherein myself, I'm seeking for the same. So like for me, it's not like just listening to this particular topic. It's a topic that I'm really interested in, and I want my people to really benefit of it. If it will not be this year, anytime next year, like there is a need for us to really have workshop for people to listen that there is a healing in every aspect we do, and in this life we are in is a process. Every now and again, when you sleep and wake up, there is one challenges and the other, and you always prepare your mind to be healed. So I really want, for me, my country really need this, because we are going through a lot of crisis. After the rebel war, now we have one of the violence FGM ever existing in the part of Africa. And now we are dealing with the drugs addicts in my country, and there is harassment, there is no freedom of speech. If you talk, they will torture you. So there are some people that want to come out and tell their story, but because of the stigmatization, the environment where they found themselves, they don't have that platform like to express themselves and talk about it. Things like what happened to them. For me, when I come out after 9 years to narrate my story, I was in the bush for 14 good days, no food, no water. I lived there, I survived. I went to another country, I lived there, changed my name for 5 years, and returned to my country and seek for justice. And today I'm still fighting for that justice, although I have received part of it. But still, even telling my story, a lot of people will attack me physically, emotionally, some of them send like horrific messages, but I will not stop, because if I can survive this, there are many people that want to survive such a thing. And if I'm listening to this kind of information, which is really valuable to me, I want others to benefit of it. And I just don't want to, like, for me, it's like a continuation. I really want to like continue with this topic. If there is a way, like I will do more research and learn more, so that it will be a benefit to my community, to my country, to my region. Like in the Gambia of recent, we have a case which is a month-old baby that was subjected to forceful initiation of FGM. She lost her life. And now that family is still seeking for justice, and they need therapy, they need people to consult them, but they can't talk, because if you talk, the community will hold you accountable for speaking. Your family will sideline you. Your country will haunt you. So I'm really like interested. It triggered me a lot. So I don't want to take more of time. I don't want to take much time, but I really want to appreciate, and I really want to learn more, because it's really opened my eyes altogether. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, that's Brother, just say thank you.
So I was saying that
Thank you very
thank so
much.
much. Yes, go ahead, Teddy.
I was just going to say, thank you very much to that young lady. I just wonder what part of Africa is she in? Which country, so we could find out if the healing of memories is going in that direction. She's in Gambia.
From Sierra Leone, but I think because of her story, she's, I think, not ready to tell us where she is exactly.
Okay, that's fine.
Right.
So if we had a healing of memories program in the area she was in, we could easily direct her towards that, you know.
Right, but we can get a way of getting in touch with her and you.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
Yes,
just say
okay.
thank you very much, Khadija, too, for sharing your story. I think I don't know about the others, but I'm really touched by your story and the experience, the horrifying experience. And yeah, I hope that healing of memories would offer some kind of solace to you and others like you.
Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Could I just say to Jasmine too? Jasmine says she's in Europe, right? We do have a healing of memories team working in Europe, based in Luxembourg. If she's interested, we could make contact through them with her.
I'm based in The Hague in the Netherlands, and I'll definitely be open to connecting.
Can I just say to you too that one of our facilitators from Namibia has just recently gone to the Netherlands. She's a qualified facilitator and she wants to make connections with the group in Luxembourg. So we'll be able to make connections between her. Her name is Andrea Dierkaart. I'm not sure what part of the Netherlands she's living in, but I can find out.
Yeah.
If you send me your email address, I'll be able to contact.
I put it in the chat, so you should be able to get it.
Do I get it then?
Yeah, I think George. I don't know if you'd be able.
Does somebody?
Yes, Jasmine, I have it. I will also share it just in case later to Teddy. Janet, you're welcome.
Thank you for the fine presentation, and it's wonderful work that you're doing. And I have know of Michael Lapsley and have been working on conflict and resolution for many years. I'm curious. So this is like a very small kind of question. You said there were 4 questions that you asked. What did I do? What was done to me? Then I missed the 3rd one. And the 4th one, what could I have done? And my reflection is, because, I love this very simple kind of question. And when I was teaching kids conflict resolution in the schools, we asked very similar questions, but it sort of moved from the past to the present to the future. What happened? What did you want? Asking 2 people. It's not just asking one person. What did you want? What happened? Both people's stories. What did you want? Both people's stories. And then what would you like to do now? That's the present. And then the next question is, what do you want to see happen in the future? So that was like another simple little model, but it goes through time. And I see that yours is really working with the past, in the present, working with the past. I just like your reflection on that. if you're still here. So I don't see you anymore.
I think he's there. So, Teddy, would you like to respond to that?
So first part is, what was the third question that you gave? And then how do you think of the present, the past, present, and future? I don't see him.
Lisette?
Yeah, it seems that our internet is now really not operating.
Oh,
okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know what's, the internet is really not cooperating.
Oh, yeah, it does sometimes.
Well, perhaps the group, other people from Africa can reflect, or people who are doing the work could reflect on the question while we're waiting for Teddy to be able to come back.
I took notes. What did I do? What was done to me? What did I fail to do? What could I have done better?
Thank you. So it's kind of interesting to see in terms of conflict processes, where's the question? What did the questions frame? And this frame is really looking at the healing of the individual in the context of a group of other individuals who can be the container, the loving container of the story. With the third graders, we try to teach them the most, many, like little kids like that, they don't have much sense of past, present, and future. They're living in now. But so it's the beginning of educating to think that you want things and your actions, and then what happens? There are consequences, and how can we deal with that? And then just one other comment is that the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, of course, it's on this whole other level of trying to help a whole fractured society heal. And so on that level, it's very, it's so complex, right? There's so many conflict processes that are trying to be initiated. I was very interested in, you spoke about Friar Teddy, you spoke about the man who was pacing in the gallery. Did he have something to do with the story of the woman and the house who was invaded and the shootings? I didn't understand. If you could clarify, thank you. Anyway, so those are my fill-in comments while we were waiting for your internet to come back. So I was asking about past, present, and future conflict resolution, person to person, face to face, dealing with a conflict between you, and then the problems of a country. And you're focused, how do you deal with when these things come up? Because it seems very focused on individual healing, your program. If you can hear that, sorry, that's more than enough for me.
Can I respond?
Yes, please.
Yeah, let me say, first of all, the story I was telling you about, I was making a connection between the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and the Healing of Memories. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearing, in which Desmond Tutu was the chair, and I happened to be on the stage because I was helping individuals to come in and tell their story. And I looked to the bottom of the room. It was a big hall, and outside the hall was this friend of mine. His name was Gift. He was the father of the two children who were killed by the people who came on the night of Chris Haney's vigil. So that's why I went down to him and asked him, would he like to tell his story? And he told me the reason he would not like to tell his story was because he couldn't put the lady through that situation again. That's what he said. But the story was told, and not specifically about him and his girlfriend and his 2 children, but about the 16 people who were killed that night. The story was told and is to be found in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report. But what I was saying was that after that, the Truth and Reconciliation, or the Healing of Memories, tries to reach out to people. It is for an individual when they come, but it's also if an individual takes a small step towards healing, it's like a ripple effect. His family find it a very better place to be in, and then the neighbors and the people around. And in some small way, the country can become a more peaceful place and a better place to live. It's only a very small step, and the program we are offering is only a very small program. It doesn't say that it's going to reach out to everybody, but any individual who is helped, certainly it makes a difference in his life, in the life of his or her family, and also in the life of the community where they are present. That's what I would say.
Thank you very much indeed. That's very, very useful and helpful. Yes, Peter.
Thank you. I was listening with rapt attention in pursuing these different fields: collective trauma, dignity and humiliation studies, of which Janet is a part, with Evelyn Lindner, who has been on this program. A new field of autonomics, which has to do with the involuntary nervous system. All these, and others, deal with the basic condition of safety and connection in terms of having parts of ourselves frozen by events, by terrible adverse events, and needing to be thawed, to be melted, to return to full life and full capacity. So just to remark that these different fields, anthropology, medicine, neurology, and so forth, are also catching on to what you have been up to. It is validated across the board in all of these different endeavors and fields of study and inquiry and healing. So I was so thrilled to listen to your story. That don't stop.
Thank you very much, Peter. We will not stop. We will continue, little by little.
Thank you very much indeed, Teddy. And we still have some minutes before we close.
Could I talk about prevention for a moment?
Okay, that's excellent. And I was actually also about to ask almost something, regarding challenges in the process of healing. And I would like to ask this actually in the context of conflicts at national level, where you have, like parties and governments and people are not seeing eye to eye, and people are killed left, right, and center. And then we say, okay, we need reconciliation, we need healing, but are there specific hurdles to that, obstacles, stumbling blocks? But Peter, please go first.
Well, just to say that, first of all, responsibility, responsible behavior scales up to the whole and is our most powerful access to this. I speak as one whose government is now murdering fishermen in the Caribbean at the orders of our president. This is unheard of, impossible, and yet it's not so unheard of. So we in this country, in the United States, are protesting, we're in the streets, we're writing letters at all levels of citizenship. We're doing what it is for us to do. And we have very, very serious resistance. The people that are fomenting war are intent on destruction. We also have nuclear issues. There is a ramping up of nuclear weapons underway. So it often appears that it is an overwhelming assault on humanity by itself. And this is why I'm so interested in the small steps, the small actions, healing, speaking actions that anyone can do anywhere. That really is what makes the difference. I will shut up. I would love to hear what Father Teddy has to say about prevention practices.
Well, what I would say is one of the things I say to young people here, and what I was talking to a group on, what night was it? Thursday, I think, not Thursday, last week. Try and teach people the practice of active nonviolence. I think that's and what I find in Namibia, since I came here, Namibia is a peaceful country compared to some others, but it does have a long, or not a long, but a serious problem of domestic violence, and in some cases femicide. I remember two of the funerals I attended where one in particular was a young woman whom I knew, and her husband I have met too. The husband came home one night and stabbed her in the presence of her 3 children, and she died. And I was saying to a group of people, we have to teach young people that nonviolence is the way to solve problems. We have to teach them, people in the families, we have to show it ourselves. And it's also a way that can go into politics, political situations in whatever countries, and teach people that nonviolence, talk about your problems, don't think that might is right. And I'm afraid that the president that Peter is referring to seems to believe that might is right in many instances. And I think the more people we can, the more people who can, be encouraged to follow a practice of active nonviolence, the better. And the more if you get more and more people, it might eventually lead to a situation where the people in charge will realize that this is the best way forward. That's the only comment I would make, but I support what you say, Peter.
Thank you very much indeed. Active nonviolence, and might is not right. And on that note, I would like to ask you for maybe one final word, comment, or last word for us for today, and then we will close. Teddy?
Well, the last word I would say is what I said already. All of you have a story to tell Your story is very important. It needs to be listened to. It needs to be acknowledged. And the process of doing that can help you to reach peace in your own heart, peace in your family, peace in your community. And what we offer as the Healing of Memories is a small method that can help some people in different parts of the world. And thank you for giving me the time. Thank you for listening. And thank you for all the people who participated. You're all great. God bless you all.
Thank you very much indeed, Teddy, for your time, for being with us. And thank you also for inviting your colleagues to join us. I would like also to thank in a special way Heinrich Goke, who is there, because he recommended Teddy for us. So we are so grateful. And of course, this, some people ask me, like, where do you get speakers, from? It's a big question, but one of the answers is that some people recommend others. So please do recommend others to come and share their stories, their experiences with us. I thank you all for your attention, for your participation. Thank you. I see you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.